And a good Friday afternoon to you, and yes, it is time for the McFarland Show. Final one of 2023.
Yes.
And then we'll see you on the other side. Darren and Justin live in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Damon Keene is alongside for the ride. We have another packed show for you as we watch Kentucky and Clemson now.
And which bowl is this?
Is this the Capital One Bowl?
No, the Capital Bowl Mania.
Oh.
That's the title of the,
I don't know.
The stuff. This is the Taxley or Gator Bowl, so that means Jacksonville. Typically where the Gator Bowl has been for the last umpteen years, as far as I know. And so, yeah, so there we are.
27-21 Clemson. Kentucky's been in the lead most of the entire game. Clemson just took the lead. 6.5 minutes to go.
Wasn't this a Music City Bowl matchup at one point? It feels like it was.
Oh, no, it has been.
Okay.
Several times.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I wasn't imagining that. Okay. Feeling like a small deja vu moment watching this.
Yep. No.
So that's what it is.
We've seen this matchup
Okay.
right here in Nashville.
Okay.
And Kentucky just threw a bomb for a touchdown.
And what's so sad is I have no idea who threw it or who caught it.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Devin Leary, according to
Well, that's their
Ms.
quarterback.
Berry and Brown.
60-yard touchdown, Kentucky.
For the catch.
So an opportunity to take the lead with a made extra point, 28-27, just over 6 minutes to go in the Gator Bowl. So lots going on. Emma Lincoln will join us here in about 10 minutes. We'll talk about the Predators and how they've been playing. Tonight they'll be in Detroit to take on the Red Wings, and then they'll be in Washington tomorrow to take on the Capitals. Last night, the Arizona and Oklahoma game was crazy. It was crazy.
Really?
You talking about back and forth. Arizona came away.
We get one or two of those
win.
every year in these bowl games.
Kansas City. I'll tell you what's getting a lot of talk is the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
I did see a little bit of that.
Did you see their celebration?
Yeah.
The giant Pop-Tart?
Yeah. That was weird. But,
but it's weird.
But that goes along with the Pop-Tart branding and everything, because the Pop-Tarts talk to you before they're eaten. And, I think that's weird. I think anytime food talks to you before someone eats it is a little strange.
It's a little off.
Yeah.
The real strange is the mayonnaise bowl, Duke. That mayonnaise they got to pour on you at the end.
Well,
yeah, there is that.
That's
tradition there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was a good game last night.
Duke Mayo Bowl. Apparently there is another bowl game happening as we speak.
Notre Dame's leading Oregon State 7-0.
That is the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl.
I've been there. It wasn't called Tony the Tiger. It was called the John Hancock Bowl in El Paso.
Remember that?
Sun Bowl. Yep.
The John Hancock Bowl.
I saw Texas and North Carolina back in the day. Priest Holmes was running the ball for Texas.
Okay.
Mac Brown was the coach of North Carolina.
Mac Brown was the coach of North Carolina.
How about that?
Wow.
Part one.
A little while ago.
Part one.
A little while ago.
And then he went to Texas right after that.
He said that he went to Texas right after that. And the legend continues.
Right. Memphis and Iowa State will be at the Liberty Bowl. That's coming up in about 20-something minutes. Missouri and Ohio State tonight on ESPN. So keep that in mind. That'll be down in Big D, the Cotton Bowl. Missouri and Ohio State. That's an interesting matchup.
It is.
Because I know Ohio State gauges their season off being in the playoffs and beating Michigan.
Yeah.
And they haven't done either one.
Neither one.
This year.
Or last year.
I don't know how much they care about the Missouri game. I know Missouri's going to care.
Yes.
So Ohio State -5. I'd probably take Missouri in the points. In fact, I wouldn't probably. I would.
Yeah.
I just don't know how much Ohio State is going to be into this.
Has Marvin Harrison said whether or not he's playing or not? Is he one of those that's checking out of this thing?
I
haven't noticed.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Again, I told you you can't keep up with.
I know I can't.
Who's in, who's out, who's playing.
I don't know.
I mean, that's why we saw Marcel Reed.
Yeah.
By the way, kudos to Greg Pogue and John Burton, they had Rod Reed and Marcel Reed on in the 10 o'clock hour today.
Very cool.
So,
Very cool. Check that interview out online.
Excellent for Marcel. He put himself in a great spot. Last night, the Browns took care of business.
Did they ever.
They punched their ticket into the playoffs. They beat the Jets. Watched that game last night. And we've got, in the same year, the Lions and the Cleveland Browns.
How about that?
In the playoffs.
How about that?
In the same season.
How about that?
And as I tweeted out last night, clearly the end of the world, it's near.
And then the end shall come. I think we have more time left. They still haven't gotten to the Super Bowl, and that's the true end. I mean, we should have knew something was up a few years ago when both the Cubs and the Indians were in the World Series. That should have been your first clue that maybe something's going on up above. But now, if the Lions and the Browns both end up in a Super Bowl, boy. That's a lot of suffering that's going to be,
and I
released.
Guess the question, and we don't have time to get into all this, is why is it that the Cleveland Browns can lose their star running back? Nick Chubb is a star in the league. He's a top 5 running back in the league. They lose him at the beginning of the season for the year. By the way, Jack Conklin, does that name ring a bell in this market?
It does.
Oh, that's right. The Titans drafted him in the first round from Michigan State. He plays for the Browns. He's played well for the Browns. He tore his ACL at the beginning of the season. He's out for the year.
Yeah.
They're on their 4th quarterback. Remember all that money, that the biggest, richest contract in the history of the NFL they gave to their quarterback?
Yes.
That's also out for the season?
Yes.
They're on their 4th quarterback.
Yes.
They're handing the ball off to Jerome Ford.
Yes.
And running all over the place on the Jets.
Yes.
Who actually have a defense.
Mm-hmm.
And they're winning games left and right and scoring points at will with Joe Flacco.
Wow.
Who's 44 years old or whatever.
But yeah.
So why are they able to do that?
They have.
And not miss a beat.
They
Why?
have outstanding talent on the defense, and they also have outstanding skill players on offense. They're able to get open for Joe Flacco, and Joe Flacco is stand back, see ball, throw ball, and it's really cool. So I mean, it's easy for them.
Who is the outstanding talent on offense?
Njoku, Elijah Moore, and Amari Cooper. Those are no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't dismiss it. They are. Those guys.
They're not stars.
Those
Amari Cooper is.
They don't have to be.
See,
that's your mistake. That's why you don't get it, because you think they have to be stars. They don't have to be stars. They just have to be good enough to get open when it's their time to get open to do their thing.
His whole career, and he's been an average. He's been an average to above average tight end.
Okay,
so he's not elite.
Has he had the other receivers next to him to do the thing?
You painted the picture that they have elite offensive players, and I'm telling you,
I'm sorry. Hold on, let's check in. Did I say elite, Damon?
Well, what was the?
Did
what
I
is
say
your
elite?
phrase
Maybe I said elite. Did I say elite?
What did you say?
I don't recall saying elite.
What did you say?
I said outstanding.
Outstanding.
They have outstanding.
Okay.
That's not elite. Is something a little different for me, but that's okay.
Okay. I mean, I don't know in the pecking order. He's like maybe he's in the top 10 in tight ends.
Well, wasn't Amari Cooper considered great at one time?
Amari Cooper is a really, really skilled, talented veteran wide receiver.
Okay.
He is a pro's pro.
And Elijah Moore
was traded from the Jets.
So?
Didn't do anything in New York. I get it. Maybe that's a New York
crowded
problem.
Room.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, horrible injury last night. That's scary stuff.
Yeah.
When you see a body doing that on the ground, that's scary, man. It's the reality of football.
Yeah.
It's why I hope my kid never plays and we just watch it.
Yeah. Don't wish for that.
Your body's not supposed to do that on the ground.
I understand. I understand.
And Elijah Moore was having a good game, but Elijah Moore it's okay. He's good. He's a good receiver.
It's the collective of them. No, it is not the same as having, Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying that they are really good when they need to be, and it's a handful for defenses to deal with when they've got to put up with these guys. So it's a lot to account for, is all I'm getting at. When they're on the field at the same time, individually, yeah, collectively, and then when you have a quarterback who actually knows what to do with the football and it's very decisive, as Joe Flacco is, it works. Sometimes it's about finding what works. They have found something that works. Now, can they put it together long term? Can they, fool enough people? That remains to be seen. I don't know. But they stand as good of a chance as anybody. This team stands a great chance not to be snake bitten, unlike the other Cleveland Brown teams that we've seen over the years. So, Joe Flacco, I'm telling you, there's something. Something's in the air going on up there.
It's a guy who's been there, done it.
Yeah.
He knows the wars, the battles. He's smart.
He doesn't care.
He's not going to dazzle you.
No.
He's just smart. He knows how the game works. He's seen it for a long
time.
Not
going to fool him with coverage and all the other stuff. He's seen all your coverage. He knows your defensive coordinator. Heck, at this point, he's probably the same age. He probably played against your defensive coordinator on the field.
Maybe older.
Maybe older than the DC. He's seen all the tricks.
But he was sitting at home.
Yeah.
He was just on the streets doing nothing. Basically, semi-retired.
Yeah.
And now he's out there winning games left and right. Just walked right into the facility and said, okay, here we go.
Mr. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Not afraid of any moment.
Well, why wasn't anybody else?
What?
Why didn't Arizona, when they knew they didn't have Kyler Murray, why didn't they get him?
Because they thought he was old and finished.
Why did Minnesota, instead of trading for Dobbs,
because they thought he was old and finished.
Well,
there's an age bias in this league. You know that. They think guys are old and finished. And so?
They were wrong.
Well, listen, you're not asking him to roll out and, do a whole lot. As long as you ask him to do what they're asking him to do, he's fine. Last night, 19 of 29 for 309. That's good.
By the way, he goes for 300 every game.
That's good.
Every game.
That's good. As long as you keep him in that range. What you don't want is him 40 and above. You don't need all that.
Mm-mm.
But if you can keep him right there around 28, 29, 30.
Money.
Hey, he'd be all right there.
We'll talk Predators when we come back. Emma Lincoln covers the team. They're up in Detroit taking on the Red Wings tonight. And we'll catch up with her, and we'll do that next here on the McFarland Show, Nashville Sports
Trusted
Radio.
for creative design and committed to both the function and aesthetics of your smile, Jody Jones Dentistry for 26 years has provided a wide range of general and cosmetic dentistry services along Nashville's Music Row and coming soon to Hermitage and Murfreesboro. The Nashville leader for cosmetic dentistry provides a unique luxury environment for patients who want his famous Hollywood smile. Just ask the country music stars, actors, athlete. Yeah, he was 8 years the dentist for the Predators to display his celebrity smile. To learn more, visit jodyjonesdds.com or call 615-259-5100.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back just for buying the gas I was going to buy anyway.
But is it a hassle to use?
No, it's super fast and easy, and I can cash out whenever I want.
That's a total no-brainer. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LIFT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code LIFT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LIFT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LIFT.
Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel downtown is at the heart of Music City. Located within walking distance of the Country Music Hall of Fame, Bar Lines at the Omni is your downtown honky-tonk destination. Watch your team from any seat on their plentiful HD TVs and catch a live show on the Bar Lines stage featuring live music 7 days a week. Bar Lines has the ultimate Southern comfort food. Get started with classic fried green tomatoes or bourbon barbecue wings. Then it's on to the massive Smashville double stack, or the world-famous Bar Lines grinder. Oh, you've never heard of the Bar Lines grinder? 2 kinds of cheese, lettuce, Dijon, smoked turkey, smoked bacon, smoked ham. Now that's some smoke you want. Local brews and local spirits are on tap at Bar Lines. Take a seat on the patio outside and soak up the rhythm of Music City. Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
If you look at Vanderbilt, and during my time there, and I was there 7 years, but the reality was we went to a couple of bowl games, and I think Vandy's been to 7 bowl games in the school history. Okay, and we beat Tennessee 3 years in a row, and that's never been done. We beat Georgia, at Georgia, and I don't know the last time Vandy's done that.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
The McFarland Show, broadcasting live in Rutherford County on 107.9 FM.
That's true. Also broadcasting live in the Strikers Bear Family Fun Center studio. Final show of 2023. And then we'll talk to you guys in 24. Darren and Justin here with you. Brad's at it tonight on the road up in Detroit to take on the Red Wings. Let's bring in Emma Lincoln. Tell you what she's up to these days. Well, she's still covering the Preds, but you can find her work in a different place. Emma, how we doing?
I'm good. It's good to talk to you guys. It's been a while.
It has been a while. Tell everybody where where they can find your work now covering the Predators.
Well, you can still find it on my social media at Emma_Lingen, but I'm now covering the team for the Hockey Writers. So it's thehockeywriters.com, and you can find them on social media as well.
Outstanding. So the tough couple games here in this stretch. Obviously, they couldn't stay out of the box. Gave up too many power play goals against Carolina after a wild one in Raleigh like a week prior. But obviously, the Dallas loss was a real heartbreaker. I mean,
I still can't believe that.
I know. 2 goals in 15 seconds. That's just brutal. And you come away with no points. But sitting here 35 games in, 19-16, overall thoughts on this year's team to this point?
Yeah, I think, like you said, tough couple of losses, and you want to hope that those losses don't become a pattern here at this point. But I think overall, you have to kind of look at this season as a success at this point because, for a team that maybe didn't have the highest expectations coming into the season, I mean, they started 5-10, to be sitting above 500, 35 games in at this point, almost halfway through the season. I mean, I think you really have to look at it as a success.
Is this what they are? Do you think they've overachieved? Do you think they've underachieved? Like, what do you think they are? This again, 35 games. I know they like to do the kind of the quarter pole in hockey in an 82-game season. So they're past the first quarter pole. So, overall, do you think this is what can they sustain this level of success? Or, how do you see this team? Hockey season's a long season. How do you see them, I guess, trying to, in this next body of work, this next quarter pole? What do you see?
Well, it is a long season, like you said, and I wish that I had a crystal ball. I think that there's so much about this team that has surprised us in terms of maybe certain players overperforming their expectations, but then there have also been certain players who have underperformed. And I think you just kind of have to have an open mind looking forward. Like I said, I think you have to look at the first quarter into almost the first half as a success for this team. But, so much of that is, can it be sustained over the course of a full 82-game season? I mean, I think a lot of that is going to have to do with, can guys stay healthy? A lot of it is going to have to do with, there's certainly reason to believe that they can sustain this. It seems like obviously they got off to a very slow start, 5-10, and then these last couple losses have not been great. And kind of like you said, for different reasons. I mean, you can't give up 2 goals in the final 13 seconds of a game and not at least take it to overtime. And then you also can't give up 3 power play goals and expect to win. So those are certainly some areas to work on, and there may be growing pains that we had hoped that would be in the past at this point. But, I think there's a lot to be excited about for this team. And that's kind of the beauty of having low expectations coming into the season, is that, right now they're overperforming. And if it turns out to not end in the playoffs, then okay, that wasn't necessarily the expectation at the start of this year. So I think, it'll be interesting to see if certain guys who are hot right now, if they can stay hot, and then other guys, maybe they can get hot, and if that timing kind of works out, and then they always have the standard of, just excellent goaltending on this team, and so that's always something that they can fall back on. But I think it'll be interesting to see, to say the least.
Who's a guy or two that you think they'd like to see get hot, as you just said? Somebody that start kind of kicking it in gear. Where would you start with that?
Well, I would start, I think, Cody Glass is one that, obviously he had a career year last year, set career highs in pretty much every offensive category. He, it was his first full season at the NHL level, and he, for him, remarkably, was able to stay healthy for most of it, which is, certainly something that has been an issue for him in the past, and we've seen it already now. Less than halfway into the year, he's been on IR twice for 2 different injuries, and so that's, I'm sure contributing to his slow start. I think that's a guy that there were a lot of high expectations for after last year that, now I think he still only has 2 points through the first half of the season. The first half that's been plagued by injuries, like I said. So I think that's one, if he is really going to, be part of that depth they have at center. I think, you'd like to see him start to produce a little bit more on offense. And, even I'd maybe put Juuso Parssinen in the same category. I think that he is, he's had a little bit more success on the score sheet than Glass has so far this season, and obviously he's been able to stay healthy for longer, but he's a guy you'd maybe like to see a little bit more from, especially after last year. So I think those are 2 guys, maybe depth forwards that you'd maybe like to see a little bit more from to kind of help get the offense going.
Yeah, I especially on the Parson in front. I'm with you. I know they think highly of him, and so I'm sure they're a little perplexed on his production level. He's been able to stay healthy, and his production levels just is not, I think, where everybody thought it would be. We got to see Askarov come in there in the final period against Carolina. I mean, the future's bright. The first time he's ever been in a regular season game at Bridgestone Arena. He had one NHL start, I believe it was in Montreal for the Preds. And so a chance for the home team crowd to see Askarov. He's a guy that's a first-round pick. The future's bright. He's still young. How do you think Barry Trotz ultimately is going to handle the goaltender situation, for the next several years, in your opinion?
Oof, that is, certainly a decision or a process that I don't envy on Barry's part. I think that it's going to depend on a few things, namely being, well, first of all, let me say the last thing you want to do, because I think one of the worst things you can do in this league is to rush a goalie before he's ready. And so, I know there's been a lot of excitement. Oh, Askarov, he's doing great. We want to see him. The NHL is a tough league. It's the toughest league in the world. It's not kind to goalies, especially today's game with so much offense. And I think that, like I said, the last thing you want to do is rush a goalie to the NHL before he's ready. That being said, I think there are some other factors at play. I think a lot of it is going to have to do with what happens to Kevin Lankinen this year. He is on a 1-year deal. He's been really an excellent backup for Nashville, in my opinion, over the last season and a half. I mean, he's been very reliable. He's set a couple career highs for himself even last year. And, I think he's proving the type of goalie that he can be. And, for Lenky, I think like really most younger goalies in this league, the goal is to be a full-time starter. And I think that's what Lankinen wants to be. And I think he understands that he's not going to be that in Nashville when you've got UC Saros ahead of you. So I think that a lot will kind of depend on what happens here with Lankinen, in the final year of his contract. If, he's kind of proven himself and he's got pretty high trade value, I would think, for a team that really needs a goalie, a good, reliable goalie, who works really hard and always has a positive attitude as well. So, if you can get something good for him at the trade deadline and, maybe that sort of expedites Askarov getting up to the NHL level, then, that's something that's a possibility. Or maybe you sign Lankinen another year. I'm sure that's probably not something that he wants or that the team would necessarily want to keep signing these, short-term deals. But it's really going to depend, I think, on the trade market this year and what happens with Askarov's development at the AHL level as well.
Filip Forsberg has been everything that a superstar should be for this franchise this year. He's leading the team in points and goals and assists. Are we seeing the benefit of him fully healthy, Emma?
Oh, absolutely. I think you're seeing the benefit of him fully healthy and playing with, quality line mates in Ryan O'Reilly and Gus Nyquist. I think you're seeing those guys really kind of bring out other facets to Forsberg's game. Phil has always been a goal scorer. That's what he's been known for. But I think now you're starting to see that he's not just the play finisher, but he can also be a playmaker. And he can dish out those assists and get them to O'Reilly or Nyquist or whoever it is. And I think that they have kind of unlocked another level of his game, a level that I think was always there. It just maybe, he didn't have as much of an opportunity to use it. And like you said, I think in this league, and for this team, especially in the way that they're going about this sort of competitive rebuild, if you want to call it that, is you need your stars to be stars. And that Filip Forsberg is one of those. UC Saros is the other, and along with Roman Josi on the blue line. And I think we're seeing that really from all three of them, which is really what the Predators need in order to stay competitive.
You talked about Ryan O'Reilly and O'Reilly, and that was my next question, is the addition of him. It would seem like he's been the biggest addition, and Darren correctly called it when the season started that he was the most intrigued by Ryan O'Reilly, if I can say it correctly today, and his addition to this team. What has he brought that's been so valuable?
Oh, I think he's brought so much. I mean, he's one of the best playmaking centers in the NHL. He's an incredibly smart and cerebral player, just the way that he sees the game. It's unlike a lot of other players in this league. And then he's got, 1,000 games of NHL experience under his belt, which is pretty remarkable for someone who's still relatively young as he is. So, he's durable, he's got longevity, he's got experience. And I think a big part of what he's brought to this team is kind of the intangible stuff, the behind-the-scenes stuff. I mean, he's a huge leader. He's a big voice in the room. He, at practices, at skates, he's always one of the first guys out there and one of the last guys off the ice, which is something that you don't necessarily see from a lot of veterans, because they don't necessarily have to prove themselves at this point, especially him. He's like, I've played 1,000 games. What do I need to prove? But, he's out there constantly trying to get better and working on skills, very fundamental stuff. And I think for a team with a lot of younger guys, they see that and they really follow that example, which has been, really helpful for this team as a whole, which is maybe something that you don't necessarily see since it's more behind the scenes stuff. But I think he's brought so much value to this team, and really, like I said, in more ways than one.
Okay, let me get to the elephant in my room anyway, and that is the 2 goals the other night against Dallas. I know they've played another whole game since then. I know. I can't get over it. Every time I see him, I'm thinking about, and if I'm thinking about it, I'm sure there's a part of them somewhere. Those are the kind of losses, Emma, that maybe, hopefully doesn't haunt you too much, but you got to try to get that out of your system somewhere. You see Soros, I mean, was he sick after the game? Like, can you just describe the atmosphere if you were there in the locker room that night after that loss?
I think that, maybe as a counterpoint, I think that loss should haunt them a little bit. You really don't want to lose games like that. I mean, obviously you can't let it, control you or hang over you for too long, but you can't give up 2 goals in the final 13 seconds and expect to win and not even take the game to overtime, not even get a point out of it. I mean, especially they were up 2-0 at the start of the third. I think that it's unacceptable.
It's the stuff nightmares are made of, Emma. It's nightmare. Like, you have nightmares that aren't that bad as a player. Like, nightmares.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it felt like a nightmare when you're watching it. You're like, what in the world just happened? I mean, granted, and to give credit where it's due to Dallas, I mean, they are an incredibly talented team, incredibly deep team, and they were going to be a challenge. The Predators were not expected to win that game, but, it was expected to be a competitive game. And nothing about that game, including the fact that the Preds were up 2-0 at one point, went how anyone would have expected, I don't think. But, that points to a team like Dallas that just shows you cannot let your foot off the gas for even 13 seconds because look what they're going to do. I think it's you have to understand that, there are no points, no games, like nothing is going to be handed to you, nothing is going to be given to you. And hopefully they've learned that lesson. Like I said, you would think at least if you're going to give up 2 goals that quickly at the end of a game, you would hope to at least take it to overtime, get a point out of it. So that was really, I think nightmare is a good way to put it. It was really a gut-wrenching loss, and, hopefully one that they learn from.
Tonight in Detroit against the Red Wings, tomorrow night in Washington against the Capitals, and that'll do it for 2023 for the Preds. Emma, appreciate the visit as always, and
Thank you,
course,
ma'am.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you guys, too.
That is Emma Lincoln, and we do appreciate her joining us, and she covers the Predators, and, of course, you can find her work, which she does a tremendous job. She's been covering them at The Hockey Writer, and you can also give her a follow at Emma, EMMA _Lincoln, LINGAN. And we appreciate her joining us. We're wide open the rest of the hour. 615-844-5600 is how you get in touch with us. Again, 615-844-5600. More of the McFarland Show next.
Everyone loves Nashville right now. It's the perfect family getaway, but it isn't just known for its food, bright lights, and music. It's also known for football. The Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl is coming to Nissan Stadium on December 30th. Come see Auburn versus Maryland right here in Music City. The music, the food, the fun. Spend your weekend in Nashville. It's your family's perfect start to the new year. Tickets are available now at MusicCityBowl.com and on SeatGeek. Brought to you by Tennessee Lottery.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Want even more excitement on game day? It's time to get on Prize Picks, the best way to win big on fantasy sports. Here's how it works. Just pick 2 to 6 players and choose more or less on their stats. If you get them right, you could win up to 25 times your cash. It's quick and easy to make your picks, and with fast and safe deposits and withdrawals, Prize Picks is the place to play this season. Prize Picks has awesome weekly promotions, and they're the only daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, keeping you in the game even if one of your players goes down. Sweat it out, watch your entry update in real time, and continue the fun by making picks on second half and fourth quarter stats. Take your game day experience to the next level with Prize Picks. And right now, you go to prizepicks.com/primetime and use code primetime. Prize Picks is matching your first deposit up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/primetime with code primetime for a 100% deposit match. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for more details.
The TSU Tigers men's basketball team of fifth-year coach Penny Collins are coming off a top 3 OVC finish last season and looking for much more this season. Led by preseason all-conference guards Marcus Fitzgerald and Kenyon Hodges, the Tigers face an impressive non-conference schedule that includes Oregon, Lipscomb, Austin Peay, Indiana State, and Liberty, and tip-off league play on December 28th at Gentry Center versus UT Martin. Hello, this is Greg Pogue inviting you to join longtime TSU broadcaster Albert Dawson on all of the games this season right here on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
Five-state forecast. Your exclusive National Sports Radio, WNSR Sky Scan forecast. For this afternoon, we'll have time to clouds and sun with a slight chance for a shower. High temperature 44. Clouds and a rain or snow shower tonight, low 32. Rain and snow likely Friday, high 40. Utilizing the resources of the Weather Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Rinaldi.
Sports Radio, WNSR.
You're listening to The McFarland Show live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
615-844-5600. It's in the books. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. Clemson comes away with a 38-35 victory over Kentucky. So the Wildcats finished 7-6 on the season. Clemson finishing 9-4, and that was down in Jacksonville at Everbank Stadium. And Dabo Swinney looked like he had just won the ACC championship game.
He looked excited.
He really did.
So, it's been a long season for Dabo.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Like,
Yeah.
I think there's a reason we're bringing this up. No offense. I can say this because I grew up in Lexington.
Yes.
I went to
you
school
go ahead.
there.
You say the thing.
I don't think Clemson fans view, beating Kentucky in football as something you should be jumping around.
If you're them,
and
you
acting
shouldn't.
like, acting like you haven't been there before. Because you have, but this season would suggest, and last season, that things are not going the way they've been accustomed to them going.
In recent years.
There's been this window where Clemson has been right there with Ohio State and Alabama and Georgia and all the big boys, right? And that hasn't been the case. And so you do wonder, because he's set the bar high.
Yeah.
He's had this weird year where he's getting in it with the fans on, on this coach's show, and just a lot of weirdness because, again, they're not used to losing like this.
No.
Under him.
Yeah.
So it's
you
partly,
say like this, they've lost 4 games.
That's what I'm getting at. It's partly his fault because he's had them at this huge high. He's built this huge high standard for them.
Yeah.
And now 9-4 is viewed as, boy.
What a down year.
We got to get better.
Boy, and got to rebuild at Clemson.
Man,
after going 9-4. Jeez.
Things are tough.
Dumpster fire. I'm going to fire Dabo. After those 9-4 records.
So, but that's it. It's very clear that Dabo's feeling the heat. And look, I don't think he's not in. He can't keep doing this year in and year out because eventually they're going to be like, okay, wait a minute. We were winning 11, 12 games a year.
Yeah.
And 8 and 9 win seasons are not going to work for us. Like, again, whether you believe that's fair or unfair,
okay,
that's just what it is.
Yeah.
When you make tons of money and you have huge expectations,
yeah,
and your fan base believes you should be vying for a national championship every year, again, realistically or not, you can't change their mind. That's what they think and feel.
I have a belief. I have a long standing belief about Clemson football, and I'm going to repeat it now. And you can agree or disagree, and that's fine. That's why we have a talk show. When Clemson was good, question: when Clemson was good, just so a few years ago, Georgia and Tennessee as a football program, were they better or worse when Clemson was good?
Well, we know Tennessee was at the bottom of the barrel for a good while.
And Georgia was good, but they weren't this good, right?
Well, Kirby has pretty much had them on the rise.
Yeah.
Ever since he got there.
Yeah, but Dabo's been there, longer than Kirby has. And so Georgia's been good, but they weren't, like this last couple of years, they've been, Super Saiyan good. They've been, out of this world good, 29 wins in a row good. They weren't this good. I've long believed when Clemson got good, they were just the missing SEC East team is what they were. And they were just playing in the ACC. It's the same. Because why? Because all the people who were supposed to go to Tennessee and Georgia ended up at Clemson. Deshaun Watson. He's a kid from Georgia, from Atlanta.
T. Higgins.
You're telling me Sammy Watkins, the kind of guys who ended up at Clemson, you're telling me these are the kind of guys who traditionally play? No, sir.
Because Tennessee didn't have their stuff together is why they ended up at Clemson.
So they end up at Clemson.
Yeah.
Same thing with Georgia. Georgia didn't have their stuff collectively together. Now, what happened? Tennessee got better. Georgia got better. Who got worse? Clemson. They share collective talent is what I'm getting at, recruiting-wise, and when it comes to power, SEC, ACC, Power 5, big-time schools, if you are a athlete, chances are you would consider going to Clemson, Georgia, or Tennessee. It's not that wild of a thought that you would think of those three schools geographically.
Right. Yeah.
If you're from that particular region, they're in the Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, Florida area, they all recruit from the same pool is what I'm getting at. And when one team rises or falls, I think it has a direct effect on the other team. So when Clemson was good, I was just taking a peek. I said, Clemson's gotten real good. You know who hadn't been doing good? Is Tennessee. And then when you start looking at the players, you go, that looks a lot like a guy who used to play, or the type of player who used to play over at, Georgia. When you look at, T. Higgins or Sammy Watkins, or, that looks like A.J. Green. A.J. Green played at Georgia, but this doesn't look like A.J. Green, the guys they got now. Now, A.J. Green, if he had played during that particular, for those of you who know who A.J. Green was, longtime player for the Bengals and all that, very great career in the NFL, he would have gone to Clemson instead. That's my point. It's just now that Clemson is down, I think Clemson is down in part because the talent at Tennessee and at Georgia in particular, those two schools in particular, is much higher.
So Clemson gets a 38-35 victory over Kentucky in the Gator Bowl. Iowa State and Memphis are underway. They're about 4 minutes into that one down at the Liberty Bowl, and Memphis has struck first. They're up 6-0 on the Cyclones, and right now it's all Notre Dame out in El Paso at the Sun Bowl. They lead Oregon State 14-0. Obviously, Oregon State lost their coach, and I don't know who's the interim.
Didn't they lose their quarterback too? Because the quarterback was
yeah,
he was the highly paid guy, $1 million or whatever.
Cam Ward guy,
hired gun guy.
And then Missouri, Ohio State will be tonight. Of course, tomorrow will be the Trans Perfect Music City Bowl. We had a good conversation with Scott Ramsey yesterday on the show.
Yes.
That kickoff will be at 1 o'clock tomorrow between Maryland and Auburn. And I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say really cool story that I read where I saw where Maryland is going to have a FW sticker on the back of their helmet
for Frank Wycheck. Who is their all-time leader in receptions for a tight end with 134 receptions for Frank Wycheck during his career at Maryland, which was 1990, 91, and 92. So they're going to have a very nice tribute there too, which is, it's funny how all of that played out. It's so appropriate that Maryland would make their first visit to Nashville and would be all surrounding the unfortunate death of Frank Wycheck, but they were able to, they're going to be able to pay tribute to him in that game. And, you know, also makes me feel like, boy, that would have been a cool thing for Frank to see, but
sure.
You know, they're going to pay tribute to 89 coming up here on Saturday, coming up tomorrow.
Monday is going to be, we're off Monday.
Yeah.
But, man, will we have a lot to digest on Tuesday, because here's your New Year's Day lineup.
Let's do it.
Wisconsin and LSU. Okay.
Yeah.
That game will be down in Tampa, and that will get things started at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
That'll be on ESPN2.
Wake up, shake it off, turn on the TV.
Liberty and Oregon out in Glendale, Arizona. That's
Liberty and Oregon.
Yeah, the Fiesta Bowl.
Okay.
That'll be on ESPN. That's at noon.
Mm-hmm.
Also at noon, Iowa and Tennessee down in Orlando.
There you go.
By the way, the line is down to 6.
Something. Okay.
Isn't that unbelievable?
A little.
I mean, I'm still a little confused. That's the Citrus Bowl.
Maybe they think
it's plummeted since Nico has been named the starter.
Maybe they think the Iowa defense has got something for Nico.
Well, I mean, I understand. Iowa's defense
is good.
It's, I think, top 5 in the country.
Yeah.
So I get that. But if you're asking me, even with his inexperience, who do I think is the better option?
Tennessee is supposed to win that game.
I think it's Nico. I think.
Yeah.
We're about to find out.
Tennessee is supposed to win that game.
It's called disrespect, gentlemen. Disrespect.
No, I don't think the bookmakers, I don't think they care about respect.
They don't
man.
at all.
They care about making money.
No.
That's what they care about.
The bookmakers have never been to Knoxville. They don't care.
It's not about respect.
You think they think that Nico, since he's first started, he don't have a lot of...
I think that they're looking at a guy, an inexperienced guy going up against the top 5 defense in the country.
Yeah.
I want you to listen to this, gentlemen. Listen to these.
I'm listening.
You've heard me talk about Iowa's offense or lack of.
Oh, well.
These are their scores this year.
Okay, go ahead.
Here we go.
For it.
Real quick.
You want to take a break first, or you want to do this?
Let's do this on the other side.
Okay.
Like,
I'm about to say, because I feel I'm doing this for your own good, Darren, because I feel you ramping up. So I'm trying to stop you now before we get to 55. So,
all right. We'll take our final break. By the way, we will have Auburn's play-by-play guy to begin the second hour.
All right.
So around the Music City Bowl tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We'll come back, wrap up the first hour of the McFarland Show next.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
There aren't any cops around.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good.
Hey, I can hold my liquor.
I drink and drive all the time.
If you put away some drinks, put away your keys. Fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
Bob's Steak and Chop House, located in the Omni Nashville Hotel, is a nationally renowned steakhouse specializing in the finest corn-fed Midwestern prime beef. The menu formula is simple: incredible meat, gigantic shrimp, fabulous salads, and decadent desserts. Start your experience at Bob's with the fried calamari or fresh scallops seared in Texas burnt honey. All the beef at Bob's Steak and Chop House are USDA prime cuts, from the traditional filet of tenderloin and ribeye to the adventurous Kansas City bone-in strip. They even have 2 different surf and turf options. And if you're looking for the other white meat, Bob's Steak and Chop House serves a dry-aged pork tomahawk with homemade applesauce. Fresh seafood is on the menu, from salmon to scampi, and even fresh lobster tail. For reservations, give them a call or log on to the Omni Nashville Hotel website. Bob's Steak and Chop House at the Omni Nashville Hotel.
Michael Fabiano here, and if you want even more excitement on game day, it's time to get on Prize Picks, the best way to win big on fantasy sports. Here's how it works. Just pick 2 to 6 players and choose more or less on their stats. If you get them right, you can win up to 25 times your cash. It's quick and easy to make your picks, and with fast and safe deposits and withdrawals, Prize Picks is the place to play this season. Prize Picks has awesome weekly promotions, and they're the only daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, keeping you in the game even if one of your players goes down. Watch your entry update in real time and continue the fun by making picks on second half and fourth quarter stats. And right now, when you go to prizepicks.com/primetime and use code PRIMETIME, Prize Picks is matching your first deposit up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/primetime with code PRIMETIME for a 100% deposit match. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com.
Jackson Boone Racing. The youngest driver at age 19 to win the coveted Pro Late Model Series Championship at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Jackson Boone Racing. A local kid and Page High graduate who's been winning races since he was 8 years old. Jackson Boone Racing. Come join Red Street Records and Roy's Meat Service, along with the Boone Group, a market leader for your home financing needs. In supporting this rising star, visit JacksonBooneRacing.com to see how you can be a part of the journey and join us running up front. Jackson Boone Racing.
This is the Greg Vogue and John Burton Show.
17-1 in SEC play.
And win the SEC tournament. They would still get left out if they didn't win the SEC tournament.
You're right. If they got to the championship game and lost in triple overtime, they'd still be out.
They're playing for the NIT.
It's sad that we're talking about this. It's not even Christmas. We already know the fate of Vanderbilt basketball.
Greg Vogue and News Channel 5's John Burton, WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
The McFarland Show, streaming live on the WNSR app and on WNSR.com.
Andy Burcham, fine voice of the Auburn Tigers, will join us to begin the second hour of the program, our final program of 2023. Back here on the McFarland Show, Darren, not David, Darren and Justin, my brother David is somewhere else, although I don't have a brother, Darren. Sorry. Or David. Excuse me. I'm all over the place.
Just get to the Iowa talk, man.
Iowa this year.
Yeah, there you go.
Utah State, 24-14. So that was like an explosion. Then they beat Iowa State 20-13. These are 2 wins. Western Michigan, 41-10. Penn State, they lost 31-0. Against Michigan State, they won 26-16.
Mm-hmm.
Purdue, 20-14. Wisconsin, 15-6.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota, 12-10. Northwestern, 10-7. Rutgers, 22-0. That was my heartbreak, 23.5 over/under. They won 22-0. Illinois, they won 15-13. Nebraska, 13-10. And were shut out by Michigan 26-0.
So you're saying they're offensively challenged?
That's putting it nicely, yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's exactly what I'm saying. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Offensively challenged.
Over and under is 35.5.
Okay.
So they were shut out by Penn State, shut out by Michigan. Tennessee's defense is not up to their level. So as inept as Iowa is, I don't think Tennessee's going to they're not shutting them out. I don't think. Right?
I don't think
With
so.
all their losses.
No.
They're not going to. I just don't see
bowl
that.
Game. And,
I don't see that.
Somebody's getting open somewhere.
Yeah. But that's not really the question. So what is Iowa going to, is Iowa going to score? Yeah, I think they'll score.
They should.
How much? I don't know. But here's really the bigger question. What can Iowa's top 5 defense in the country do to Tennessee's offense?
I wouldn't think they've got enough to keep them shut out for a long period of time. I would think at certain points Tennessee's offense would break loose and do what it does. I look at it like this: it's the SEC versus the Big Ten, and its talent pool and different types of talent. And I know Iowa has got a great defense, but But do they have a great defense because they're big and strong, or do they have a good defense because they're fast and good tacklers? Because if they're slow and strong, typically what happens is the SEC team, which is normally faster, just wears them out.
Mm-hmm.
And, after a while, the wide receivers get way more open, and the running backs start to break tackles, and pretty soon the touchdowns start to get longer, and the afternoon is over, is what typically happens in these SEC Big Ten matchups. Typically, more times than not. They're just not built the same way. So I would think Tennessee would play Iowa close in the first half, I would think. Second half, Iowa runs out of gas because they get tired of chasing them around all over the field, and Tennessee breaks it open for, now. How high does it go? That's the key question. If it's 35 is the over and under, if you give Iowa 7, that means
35 and a half.
35 and a half. If you go for the under in that case, that means it's 28-7. If you go for the over, that means it's 31-7. Somewhere like
28
that.
28-10.
28-10.
Like does
Tennessee gets more or less than 4 touchdowns.
Does Tennessee get in the 30s?
I think they could.
Really?
Well, hold on.
I don't know. I don't think so. I kind of feel like
maybe not.
I feel like high 20s, right? So what I'm getting at is it's probably going to come down to this number. It's going to be right there, what you said, 28-7, 28-10.
I would think Tennessee would score more than that. I don't know. But see, that's what makes it's the bowl game, and I don't know who's sitting out and who's in, and what recent recruit wants to get a run. I don't know.
Yeah. We will find out tomorrow when they kick off. Or not. No, not tomorrow. On New
Monday.
Year's Day. Yeah,
Monday.
Monday. Excuse me. All right, we'll come back. Second hour. Auburn's play-by-play man. He'll join us next here on the McFarland Show.
.560 AM, 95.9 FM, Brentwood, Nashville, 107.9 FM, Smyrna, Nashville's first 24-hour sports station. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
Your brain is an amazing thing, but as you get older, it naturally begins to change, causing a lack of sharpness or even trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired, Prevagen has been shown to improve memory. A Pharmacy Times National Survey of Pharmacists rated Prevagen the #1 pharmacist-recommended memory support brand for the 5th year in a row. You can find it in the vitamin aisle in stores everywhere without a prescription. Help your memory. Try Prevagen today. Prevagen. Healthier brain, better life. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio. Listen, you can't handle the truth. It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Throw me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Alrighty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Final hour in 2023 for the McFarland Show. We are live in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Darren and Justin here with you. In about 30 minutes or so, we'll have the McFarland six-pack of picks, the final edition of that in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Justin can beat his chest. I can crawl under the desk because I continue to fail.
I really don't know. Well, you can tell me about it later because I don't know.
Transperfect Music City Bowl. We had a good conversation with Scott Ramsey yesterday on the program. Of course, kickoff will be at 1 o'clock tomorrow over at Nissan Stadium. Looking forward to that. Should be a nice day. A little bit on the chilly side, but a nice day. Let's bring in Auburn play-by-play man Andy Bertram. He is on the line with us. Andy, how we doing?
Guys, I'm doing well. Looking forward to another Music City Bowl tomorrow and a good matchup between Auburn and Maryland.
Maryland has never been here before. Scott painted the picture to us yesterday that the Terrapins fans are excited to be here. They'll be here. By the way, told us yesterday they're expecting over 50,000, which is outstanding for this game. What kind of give us the pulse of the Auburn fan base?
Well, Auburn did not play in a bowl game a year ago, so I think there's even more excitement about being back in a bowl game this year. And Auburn's had some success here in Nashville. Auburn played Vanderbilt earlier this season and played well in that game, had a huge Auburn crowd at that game. And I think Auburn's excited to be playing in this bowl. Played in this bowl in 2018 and beat the mess out of Purdue that day. Jarrett Stidham, who started for Auburn that day and was named the MVP, just found out that he will get his first start in a Denver Broncos uniform on Sunday. So a little bit of a intrigue there with regard to that, and hopefully Auburn plays as well as it did here in 2018.
Boy, you're right. I totally forgot about that game. I was there, and that big thing was over at about 5 minutes into the game. It was like, holy cow. It was already like 21-0, something like that. I think Jeff Brom was like, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of Purdue. It's probably why he's at Louisville now, man. That was something. So how would you assess the first year of Hugh Freeze?
Well, and listen, we knew going into this season that it was a bit of a depleted roster for Auburn, and he hit the transfer portal hard for the 2023 season. Over 20 transfers on this ball club, including the starting quarterback, Peyton Thorne. His recruiting for 2024 is vastly different. I mean, he knew that he would need to hit the transfer portal hard a year ago because Auburn had so many holes coming into this season. And I thought he did a good job of putting together a team in a short amount of time. But the recruiting for this coming season, the 24 season, is very heavy from the high school staff. And that was a conscious effort made by Auburn. It was an up-and-down season. Auburn got off to a good start against some lesser opponents and then got into the Southeastern Conference and played the likes of Texas A&M and Georgia and struggled out of the gate in the SEC. Got some wins against teams that it should have beaten, including Mississippi State and Arkansas and Vanderbilt. And then its last two games, I mean, the game against New Mexico State, Auburn was outplayed that day. And then the biggest heartbreak of the year came, of course, against Alabama on the 4th and 31 with Jalen Milroe and that pass that ends up winning the game for Alabama. So it was a very up-and-down season. I think Auburn fans like what they've seen out of Hugh Freeze in what he has done with his staff, what he has done with this team, and look forward to what's to become of the 2024 Auburn Tigers.
You just said it, Andy. There's no other conference where you can go to Texas A&M, host Georgia, go to LSU, host Ole Miss in 4 straight weeks.
Yeah, and Auburn played well in all of those games but one. And LSU was a rout from the beginning, and the Heisman Trophy winner played like it that day. Auburn had its chances at Texas A&M. Auburn had its chances against
Georgia. Yes,
for goodness sakes, and really until late had its chances against Ole Miss. So it was a season of what might have been for Auburn if they get a win against Georgia. Certainly, if they get a win against Alabama. So, I thought it was a season. You're at 6-6. You need a win to avoid a third straight losing season for Auburn. And I think that's what makes tomorrow's game even more important for Auburn. And I know that there's all the talk of opt-outs and everything, but I think this game means a lot to Auburn. I think this game means a lot to Maryland as well. And for Auburn's sake, I think it means a great deal because it gives you momentum heading into your off season, into spring practice. And you've got all these young receivers some have already been able to practice with Auburn, and you should be a better football team in year 2 of the Hugh Freeze era.
Great. I love hearing that. I hope both sides want this one bad. That means we should get a good game. That's outstanding.
And I think Auburn fans have responded. We've got an event downtown tonight at the Wild Horse Saloon that is a sellout. Auburn sold its share of tickets and then some for the game tomorrow, and folks have been trying to get extra tickets for it. So I think both of these teams have responded well. Their fan bases have responded well. I think it's going to be a great atmosphere tomorrow at Nissan Stadium.
Andy, I've watched a lot of Iron Bowls in my lifetime, and man, there's been some wild ones over the years. And just when you think you've seen it all, and I know you touched on it, I still, just the minute you started talking about it again, I still can't believe they lost that game. I mean, what was it like, you being behind the microphone calling that, and just take us into that 4th and 4th and goal from the 31, right?
Fourth and goal from the 31, and it was a great pass from Jalen Milroe. I don't want to take anything away from what he did in that game. And, Auburn has a defender that doesn't get his head around to see the pass coming. And listen, guys, it was one of those that, and I've been around this for a while, but it's one of those, and I had family at the game, and my wife walked up to the press box after the game, and I was going to ride home with them. And I was sitting there after that game. I was stunned after that game. And she said, "Hey, we're here." And I just kind of waved my hand. I'm like, I think I need a minute just to kind of, take what in. It would, and for all of about 32 seconds of that game, it was one of the great days on the Auburn campus that I've ever been a part of. It was a pristine day. It was a sellout crowd. And from an Auburn perspective, take away 4th and 31, it was a wonderful day at Auburn. But 4th and 31 occurred, and, listen, Alabama fans will be reminded till the end of time of the kick six, and I think Auburn fans will be reminded of 4th and 31 from now on as well.
Yeah, well, I've been to so many games in live and in person. Sometimes TV just doesn't do it justice. So what was it like there?
It was a great day.
When that play happened afterwards, did the life just get sucked out of the stadium? What was the reaction?
Yeah, it was, except for the Alabama fans in the northwest corner of Jordan-Hare Stadium, or the northeast corner of Jordan-Hare Stadium. The place was pretty quiet.
Yeah.
And to that point, it had been a constant roar all day long. So, yeah, it's just one of those where you know it's a possibility, but you don't think it's going to happen. And when it does, the life gets sucked out of the stadium, and you're left to deal with it.
Andy, my name is Justin McFarland. I was the former news anchor at Channel 31 WAAY in Huntsville, Alabama, and I went to Oakwood College there in Huntsville, Alabama, and I know the area well, lived down there for years. Obviously, I just said I went to school down there, worked down there, all of that stuff. Very familiar with the culture of everything that is Alabama and Auburn and all of that. So, with that said, I try to tell my Tennessee brethren up here that they cannot understand the Iron Bowl, and they cannot understand the meaning of what Alabama and Auburn mean to each other as far as that game is played, and the fact that you literally talk about the game every single day all the way up. And this is the truth, Andy. When I moved back up here, and I'm from Nashville, but when I moved back up here from Huntsville, it was weird to see the Iron Bowl on TV and not have heard about it for the last month and a half. So can you just wax poetic just a little bit about the importance of the Tide and the Tigers taking on each other? Because, again, people say, well, they're great rivalries all around. No.
Nothing like this one.
They don't get it, Andy. They don't get it.
Yeah. I don't know how poetic I'll be. But, yeah, unless you're part of it, unless you live it in the state, unless you're around it like we are on a day-to-day basis. And guys, it is beyond football. It's in any sport. When I moved to Auburn in 1988, and at that time I was doing women's basketball, and I remember the first Auburn-Alabama game that I called, and the head coach, Joe Champy, who's in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame over in Knoxville, he said, it doesn't matter what sport it is. It could be tiddlywinks. It doesn't matter. When it's Auburn-Alabama, it's highly important. It's the most important thing that day, and it is. It's like that in any sport that is played on the Auburn campus or the Alabama campus. I don't know how to quite describe it, and there are other great rivalries. There's Michigan,
Sure.
Ohio State. There's the Egg Bowl rivalry. There are great rivalries out there, but there is nothing like Auburn and Alabama. And here's the thing: other folks may disagree with it. Auburn, Alabama folks don't care. They don't care if
That
you
is true.
disagree because they know. They know it's the most important thing, and there's nothing like it out there. Period. That's
I'm
as
sorry.
poetic as I can get.
I'm laughing so hard because I know you're right. That's why I'm laughing, because you're absolutely right. They don't care at all about the thoughts outside of the state there. All right. As somebody who's been following this team for so long, has it hit you yet that there is no more East or West division?
I've been asked that quite a bit. It really doesn't bother me all that. Maybe it should, that there is no East or West anymore. It's like that in some sports, and there will still be divisions in others. But in football, it will be one SEC, with Texas and Oklahoma joining in 2024. And I'm fine with that. Listen, geographically, the SEC has been messed up when it came to divisions anyway. Missouri has been in the East.
True.
Which makes no sense. You
True.
know what I'm saying? So there just won't be any divisions from now on. I do like the fact that it appears that moving forward that the schedules are going to be a little bit more balanced. Auburn's been to Missouri once in football. Once. Missouri has been to Auburn once since it joined the league. And there are other examples of games that just haven't been played because of division. So if that's the case, I'm fine with that if it's a little bit more balanced moving forward.
Come to think of it, I can't remember. When's the last time Auburn's been to Vandy? I'm trying to remember.
Auburn was at Vandy this season. Auburn had not been to Vanderbilt, I don't think, since 2012 before that.
Yeah. I was thinking to myself,
that was, I think, game day. Wasn't game day here for that game?
Game day here for that?
In 2012?
In 2012, boy, that's been a while ago.
Well, the last two times Auburn had played in Nashville against Vanderbilt, the head coach of that Auburn team was gone by the end of the season.
That's right. That is correct.
Tommy Tuberville and Gene Chizik.
Mm-hmm.
So we stopped that one this year, thankfully.
Boy. A sort of question that's off the beaten path, but, I was reading your bio a little bit, and you were raised in Nashville, Illinois.
Yeah, big difference.
I was going to ask you, are there any similarities at all between this town and that one?
No. None. The name is it. Nashville, Illinois is population 3,000. It's a small farming community about 50 miles outside St. Louis, Missouri. And other than that we share the same name, there's no similarity whatsoever.
Are you blown away by what you've seen of the city? I imagine you've been through a little bit here, and so we continue to grow.
I love coming to Nashville, and we'll come back for basketball. We'll come back for the SEC basketball tournament, and Auburn baseball plays that weekend at Vanderbilt as well. So, and then, of course, we were here for the Vanderbilt football game, and we're here for the Music City Bowl. So, yeah, I always enjoy coming to Nashville. I have some great friends that live here. And when I come to Nashville, typically my wife makes the trip as well, and we enjoy it. It's a great, great town. It has a great Auburn club. The Greater Nashville Auburn Club does a wonderful job year in and year out. When Auburn does its ambush tours in the spring, typically year in and year out, we're here in Nashville as well. So this is a great city for Auburn, and I'm glad we're here for the Music City Bowl.
Andy, last question for me, and that is I like the fact that Maryland is here because they're a fresh team for the Music City Bowl. And my understanding is, of course, Auburn has not played Maryland since 1983. It's got to be refreshing for the fan base to see a different helmet on the other side of the field for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, the last time that Auburn played Alabama, it was at Jordan-Hare Stadium, and Boomer Esiason was the quarterback for Maryland, and Bo Jackson was the tailback for Auburn.
Last time Auburn played Maryland, yes.
Time.
Yeah, Auburn played Maryland,
so, it's fun to get to play new teams. Auburn played Baylor at the start of this basketball season in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I had never been there. I was glad to get to see a new part of the country. So it's fun to be able to play a Big Ten team. I mean, I grew up in Big Ten territory, so I'm glad that Auburn's playing a Big Ten team, and I'm looking forward to I did a podcast with Johnny Holliday, who's in his 45th year doing Maryland football and basketball. Just an opportunity to get to see some of these guys that I've grown up listening to. So I'm looking forward to it.
Sounds like great weather, great crowd, and hopefully a great game. Andy, thank you so much for the visit. Appreciate it. Enjoy the game, and Happy New Year.
My pleasure, guys. Have a great day. Happy New Year.
Same to you. Andy Bertram, who is the Auburn play-by-play man, he'll be on the call tomorrow when they kick off at Nissan Stadium, and Auburn and Maryland tangle the TransPerfect Music City Bowl. We'll take a break. We'll come back, 615-844-5600 if you want to get involved in the show a little bit later. McFarland's six-pack of picks. More of the show next.
Fill the halls with shouts of winning, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be giving, fa la 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 la. Instant games to friends and family, fa la 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 la. Join the joyous cash prize carol, fa la 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 la.
With top prizes up to $500,000, holiday instant games from the Tennessee Lottery make grand gifts. Find them at your nearest Tennessee Lottery retailer today. Please play and gift responsibly.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. That's 800-649-0142.
In Tennessee, 967,430 people struggle with hunger, and 295,570 of them are children. That's 1 in 7 who struggle with hunger, and 1 in 5 are children. People who are hungry are not necessarily living on the streets. They may be in your child's classroom, in your neighborhood, or just down the street. In addition, many of these people live in food deserts, which are areas more than 10 miles from the nearest grocery store. Often there are limited resources to get food, and the only option is fast food or convenience markets. While processed food may help with hunger pangs, it provides little to no nutrition. What began in 2008 as a dream to buy land, grow food, and give it away has recently developed into a way to serve and impact more individuals in the community. God has blessed our mission to be a healthy food source to those in need so much By Faith Farm had to create a nonprofit to continue meeting the need in the community on a larger scale. Visit ByFaithFarm.com to get involved. That's ByFaithFarm.com.
When was the last time you did something fun with family, friends, coworkers, and clients? What if I told you about a place under one roof that offers affordable entertainment for all ages? That's what you'll find at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers in Donaldson, Hermitage, Tusculum, Hendersonville, and Murfreesboro, with bowling, games, food, drink, and entertainment for all ages. Enjoy an enhanced experience in Hendersonville or Murfreesboro, where they feature additional fun with bumper cars, laser tag, roller skating, and more. All locations are open 7 days a week, including holidays. Visit online at strikeandspare.com. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
Grind into the new year. Catch Ja, Darren, Dez, and your Memphis Grizzlies as they take on the Sacramento Kings this Sunday at 7 p.m. Get ready to celebrate a new year and a star-studded show. Secure your tickets for the Grizzlies New Year's Eve game by visiting Grizzlies.com. Give the gift of Grizz this holiday season with a 6-game holiday pack. The best prices on the season's best matchups, including the Lakers, Clippers, and more. Holiday pack starting at just $30 per game. Visit Grizzlies.com/packs for more information.
You're listening to The McFarland Show live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
You are. The injury report for the Titans is out after today's practice. So doesn't look like last week, although they put so many guys on IR.
16. Or is it more than that now?
Well, the only person they have ruled out, which I don't even know if this counts, for tomorrow, for Sunday, is Caleb Farley. Like I said, does that even count? I mean,
he didn't play it all year.
So he's been listed out today.
Okay.
Questionable is Trey Avery, who's dealing with a knee injury. Also questionable, and there's only three guys listed as questionable. One guy out, who I already told you, Caleb Farley. And questionable is Marlon Davidson. Is that who I said?
No, you said.
I said Trey Avery.
You said Trey Avery.
So Trey Avery's one with the knee. The other one's Marlon Davidson with the groin. And the other one's the tight end Josh Wiley with the knee.
Okay.
They're all questionable. And let's see. The only one that was a full participant today was Trey Avery, so I would assume that's probably good news for him.
Mm-hmm.
The other two were limited. And so, I mean, it's Will Levis, by the way, full participant all week. So I guess he's going to go.
Ian Rappaport, 2 hours ago, says that Will Levis, returning from a high ankle sprain, is in line to start.
Yeah.
Coach Mike Vrabel told reporters today.
Yeah, well, he's been a full participant all week. I don't know why he wouldn't.
So he'll be out there.
I mean, obviously things can go,
Nope.
He could retweak it or whatever.
Nope.
But
Ian Rappaport's already said it, so therefore it's going to happen. That's the way this works, Darren. I'm not sure if you're aware, but once Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter say it, then therefore by NFL law, it has to happen.
Okay. Well, there you go. Breaking news. Will Levis set to start.
Put it in stone. Ian Rappaport has spoken.
Okay. I need a little help.
Why? What happened?
So I told you I've been asked to
Thing.
participate. Yeah.
You haven't figured this out yet?
It's Justin.
Okay.
It's hard.
Okay.
I got to be honest.
Let's
it's
do
hard. And I'll try to rifle through this. It's
fine.
pretty good.
Come on with it.
Because it's interesting. It really is. It's interesting.
I'm sure it is.
This is 25 years of this team and the history in our market.
All right.
Okay. So I want to skip over quickly the obvious. I think me and you are going to be on the same page.
I think Eddie George is going to make the team, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. 3 quarterbacks. Steve McNair is the obvious. So we're just going to leave that. They want 3.
The unquestioned starter.
So 2 of the next 4, the list.
All right.
Vince Young, Mariota, Kerry Collins, Ryan Tannehill. Pick 2 of those 4 because I have to pick 3. I would like to pick 1 and just leave it at McNair.
It's easy for me.
It's easy. Okay.
Yeah. It's Tannehill and it's Mariota.
Interesting. Okay. This is why I'm asking. So I do agree with you that in this group, Tannehill has to be in there.
Yeah.
So
Tannehill,
it was
Mariota.
really about the third, but I wanted to hear if you would go, and you did. So we both agree on Tannehill.
Yes.
So the third, I really, really went back and forth. And do you know who I'm leaning
over Kerry Collins?
I have not. Just so you know, I have not submitted anything.
I know.
That's why I'm doing this.
You're going back and forth between Kerry Collins and Ryan Tannehill, No, he's not. No, he's not doing that. You're going back and forth between not Ryan Tannehill, but Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota and Kerry Collins is where you're going.
This is why I love baseball, because sometimes you can throw a curveball. You just don't always give them the heater. Sometimes you can throw that big hanging curveball. I actually am leaning towards Vince Young, and I'm gonna tell you why.
I had telepathy.
What?
I'm going to tell you why.
You invent. All right, come on.
So listen to this. You know this, but hear me out. One, you know how I feel about Vince
Yes,
Young.
I do, which is why I'm very.
I know.
Go ahead.
I know. Vince was the Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
That's a big deal.
Yes.
He was the Rookie of the Year.
He was.
Okay. Justin, I don't remember the time frames. Okay, you went down to Huntsville, as you talked about when
I missed Vince.
Okay, so that's what I'm getting, because I know we used to
98 to 05.
I know that we used to be around each other in the press box all the time. I can't remember. I was there.
Yeah, you were there for Vince. I was not.
Single game of Vince Young, and especially, it's really about the rookie year.
Electric.
It was electric.
Electric.
Okay. The stadium was electric. And every time he ran out on the field, when the offense was taking the field, nobody was leaving their seat.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know what he was going to do.
No.
And
Good or
he
bad.
made some unbelievable play. We all remember the Keenawuk. What was his name for the Giants? Keenawicki or help me out.
I know you're talking about.
He had him wrapped up on 4th and 15.
Yeah, let him go.
Why am I drawing blanks on his
Don't do it to
name?
yourself. Just keep going.
I know
let
his
that.
name.
Don't
Okay.
let that derail you. Just keep going.
And he had him sacked, and he released him.
Yeah.
And Vince Young scrambled for 16 yards.
He did.
Kept the drive alive.
Yep.
They were down 21-0 in that game, and
They
came
were.
back and beat the Giants.
He did.
That was at Nissan Stadium.
It was.
It wasn't Nissan then, but
No,
same
it was
stadium.
not. Yes.
That place went nuts.
Yeah.
I was there when he threw the touchdown against Arizona.
Yeah.
As time expired.
Kenny
to
Brett.
beat the Cardinals. Kenny Brett.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
That place went nuts.
Yeah.
He had so many. And
on the
Justin
road against
knows,
Houston.
This is why Justin. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The overtime game.
The
Oh, my
overtime,
God.
the
Where he had
walk-off.
the 60-yard run to win it.
39,
Or
but
whatever
the
it was.
walk-off, yeah.
It felt like 60.
Yeah.
It felt like he was just running and running and running.
Well, that's because he ran through the end zone, to the wall, then up the tunnel.
He did. I'm disappointed. The reason I harbor a lot of stuff is I'm disappointed because Vince could have owned this town.
Oh, man.
He could have owned this town.
Yeah.
But, look, we don't have time to get into
we don't,
all that.
We don't.
But that's who I'm leaning towards.
Vince is a 30 for 30.
So did I shock you?
Yeah.
And do you have a problem with what I said, what I threw out there?
Do I have a problem with what you threw?
Look, you're going to tell me Mariota won a playoff game, and I can't counter with that. I can't.
I know.
Vince didn't. So I can't counter with that.
Listen, I'm a Vince Young guy, okay? The starting record, don't even get, because again, we don't have time. I have never understood the argument that Kerry Collins was better than Vince Young. I don't know what anybody's talking about with that. The records that the two guys had when they played with the same people was pretty obvious. One guy was like 3 games under 500. The other guy was like 12 games over 500. And they were playing with roughly the same roster. I mean, so I
don't think Kerry was under 500.
Go back and do the count.
Really?
Really. It was that bad. Because you remember, there was the 0-8 start and then the 0-6 start. Because you're thinking about the 13-3.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem is there's the 0-8 start and the 0-6 start to go along with all of that. So it piled up on him really fast. The L's piled up.
I would not have thought he was under 500.
Go back and look at the numbers. I'm telling you.
I don't have it in front of me.
But anyway, listen. Because I only know this because I've had the argument 400 times.
Okay.
I am going to say that Marcus Mariota had a better tenure here because of the playoff win, and not just the playoff win, but because of how he did it and who he did it against and who they went on to become. And I know it wasn't Patrick Mahomes quite yet. I understand that. It was still Andy Reid, though, was it not, up there in Kansas City at the time?
Yes, it was.
It was still Andy Reid, and what eventually became, the 3-time AFC champions and the 2-time Super Bowl champions and the Kansas City Chiefs. Marcus Mariota threw a touchdown pass to himself and won a game that they had no business winning. And Vince has not. You talked about skin on the wall all the time. Vince don't have one like that.
I understand.
He don't have one like that.
I can't push back.
He's got all the great moments you spoke about, and he's got them, yes. And was he more electric? Yes, he was. There ain't no question about that. But who's got more, who accomplished more? I'm going to argue that Marcus Mariota accomplished more during his time here. But I was a huge Vince Young fan, and no one was more disappointed than I was with how all that ended.
I was not, but yet I'm leaning towards him because I also know that rookie year, it was just he is the reason people showed up. I mean, they were on pins and needles. They didn't know what. I mean, he was every week he was doing something crazy.
Oh, he's special now,
spectacular. And
he's special in college.
Winning games.
I mean, he's special.
Yeah,
he's special athlete.
One of the greatest college football players of all time. But he totally ruined it here.
Ridiculous
in the pros. But he could have been different. He could have been different.
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna let all that get into the way of. Look, that's the group I got to choose from. That's it.
Okay. If you want to go with VY, I'm not going to push back against you. I'm just saying
Mariota is probably the logical choice. But I'm telling you that I'm leaning. I haven't submitted anything. I'm leaning towards VY. I really am. Anyway, we got some phone calls. Let's go to Nate. Nate, what's up?
What's up, guys?
Hey, Nate.
I guess I'm excited to watch the Tennessee-Iowa game. I mean, I feel like it's going to be a slugfest. It's going to be like 10-7 final.
Oh,
just because
boy,
of
please,
Iowa.
Please, no. I hope not. Please not.
But I kind of know how I want to watch the game, but I'm scared to because I don't want Nico to just ridiculously ball out. And then, we play, I don't remember if they even came out with a schedule yet for next year, but, playing against, well, I don't remember who we play. I'm sure it's almost a nobody team, but play someone like, Georgia Southern, and Nico doesn't look that great. But, I just don't want the expectations to be too high for Nico playing on Monday for, basically his entire college career.
So you want him to be average so the expectations will be lessened? Is that what you're saying?
Kind of. I just don't, but do you understand what I'm saying?
I think so.
I do, but I don't. I mean, I do, but I don't. You're saying, because the crazies will be out, and if he lights by the way, it's Chattanooga next year in Knoxville.
Okay, that's
I don't think
right,
you have to
that's
worry
right.
about that.
But for my own sanity, I don't want him to just, throw for like 500 yards and then, against Chattanooga, maybe throw for like 2 or whatever. And I don't know. I'm excited for Nico, but I'm cautious about it.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I mean, that's fine.
That's fair.
But look, I don't think the crazies are going to be out no matter what.
True.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be Nico, unless he just absolutely goes out against Iowa and is a dud. I mean, a dud. And then everybody's going to be panicking, right? But I just don't think there's anything that's going to temper the excitement people are going to have for him being their full-time quarterback next year. I really don't. Unless, like I said, he's an absolute dud against Iowa, and I can't imagine that he's just a disaster.
After all this time, I would think not.
If so, we're going to have a lot to talk about.
A whole lot to talk about.
If so, that's one of the worst college football contracts ever given out.
Well, yeah.
Well,
I don't know about
for that.
There's probably already a bad one already.
And a lot of football left.
Well,
All right, Nate.
I'm saying like legal contract.
No, I know what you're
Yes,
saying.
sir.
Technically
Yes,
is
sir.
legal.
We understand that.
Yep. Hey, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Happy New Year,
Yeah.
Nate.
Happy New Year.
Let's go to Doug. Doug, what's up?
I know you were talking about QBs, but I know why you chose Vince, because according to Mr. Adams, VY
He's my
is
guy.
my guy.
Yeah.
That's right. So you had to pick him. But I want to twist it a little bit. You know, we talk about VY, but I don't recall anyone talking about Adam Pac-Man Jones as a corner or returner. He was exciting, and I had an argument, not an argument, but I have facts behind my rhetoric, where I told a guy, you can say what you want about Pac-Man Jones. He lasted in the league over 10 years.
You want to hear something
He
crazy?
did.
Listen
He
to
did.
this. Listen, I'm glad you brought this up. Honestly, I'm so glad you went there, Doug, because I did want to bring this up. Oh, don't, because I don't want to get off this topic. Listen.
Well, no, I'm going to let you have it, because I want to say this also.
Okay.
I remember, a segment from the past is guaranteed to last called This Is What I Know.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I know. The invention of the McFarland show been a godsend to sports radio. Thank you, man. It's been a good year.
Oh, Doug, thank you, man. Happy New Year. I want you to hear this, Doug, because I'm glad you brought up Pac-Man. Thank you as always.
Thank you, Doug.
This is something I wanted to bring up. I'm glad he went there, because I probably would have forgot. I'm losing it.
Okay.
As I get older, my memory stinks. I got to write it down or I'll forget it. There's 2 categories he would be in. Okay.
Okay.
There's cornerbacks, corner with a C. You pick 4. There's a list of 4, 6, 12, 17 cornerbacks.
You got to pick 4?
Got to pick 4.
Jeez.
Guess who's not on the list?
Adam Pac-Man Jones?
Adam Pac-Man Jones.
Yeah.
Listen to this one. Gets better.
Well, there's a reason why, but go ahead.
No, wait a minute. We're getting there.
Go ahead.
Return specialist.
Yeah.
There's 3 guys. You pick one. Derek Mason, Mark Mariani,
Yeah.
Justin McCarrans. Guess who else?
Justin McCarrans?
Guess who's missing?
Adam Pac-Man Jones.
How in the world?
How in the world is he missing from that?
How in the
Justin
world?
McCarrans.
Let me tell you something. Same thing as Vince. When Pac-Man went back there to return a punt at that stadium, nobody left their seats.
Oh, yeah.
No one.
He was exciting now.
No one left their
a
seats.
touch disrespectful.
Not on the. So tell me what. So I am very, I literally laughed out loud. I was like, they didn't put Pac-Man on there. So.
Well, they didn't put Pac-Man on as a corner because part of his package was that he was a. I'm sorry. They didn't put Pac-Man Jones on as a cornerback because part of his excitement was as a returner. So either he was going to be one or the other.
Interceptions return for touchdowns.
Yeah, he had some of that. No, I'm not saying he didn't. He was good corner, but I'm just saying that part of his package of what made him exciting is his return capability. And
you don't think he belongs in the cornerback list?
Who else?
Okay,
is there?
Justin. Okay.
Who else is there?
Cody Sensabaugh.
Now, come on now.
Nick Harper. Christian Fulton.
Christian. He's still playing.
Logan Ryan. Samari Roll. Cortland Finnegan. Alterin Werner. Adoree Jackson. Ronaldo Hill. Ty Smith. Andre Woolfolk. Danon Sidney.
Andre Woolfolk.
Yeah. Malcolm Butler, Donald Mitchell, LaShawn Sims, Andre Dyson, Jason McCourty. See what I mean?
So
you're telling me Adam Pac-Man Jones isn't on that list? Nobody said he had to win.
No,
but he's not on that list.
Well, it's obviously
he's not an option.
The fact that he wasn't on the return list means it was intentional.
That's exactly my point.
The return list now maybe that, but the return list is obvious. If you've got him
over Justin,
if you got Justin McCarran,
come on now,
over Adam Pac-Man Jones, that means you went out of your way.
Mace and Mariani,
Mark Mariani,
Mark Mariani, yeah.
You
and
said
Derek
Mace.
Mason.
Mason.
Derek Mason.
Okay,
those 2 belong on there.
Sure.
Are you kidding me? McCarran's over Pac-Man?
No, I don't know what you're looking at.
I think it has to do with the negative, though.
You think?
Quite a few negative
what?
Parties late night.
What did he do? What are you talking about?
Something happened?
I can take. Can I tell
Did you hear something
No,
we didn't hear?
no, we can't. You know, we're
we gotta take a
over.
break.
We're done. We're
Take
done.
a break. Take a break. We'll come back. More of the McFarland Show next.
Prince's Hot Chicken, Nashville's original hot chicken, with 3 locations serving Middle Tennessee, south on Nolensville Road, 5th and Broad, downtown, and the new location at Tanger Outlet Mall. You can now order your favorite flavor of heat online at princesshotchicken.com. And don't forget dessert, including special holiday pies. Prince's Hot Chicken in 3 locations and princesshotchicken.com. Prince's Hot Chicken, Nashville's original hot chicken.
We all know that Nashville life can get hectic. In the middle of all the madness that is life, don't forget to take care of yourself. Treat yourself to Nashville's ultimate relaxation experience at Mocara Spa at the Omni Nashville Hotel. With services for men and women, Mocara Spa at the Omni Nashville Hotel is your one-stop shop for full body treatment. Begin your experience in the exquisite relaxation room, then enjoy a full body treatment or even a couples massage before finishing in the salon. Located on the 4th floor of the Omni Nashville Hotel, Mocara Spa is Nashville's highest quality self-care oasis. To book your experience or gain information on packages, call Mocara Spa today at 615-761-3600. Again, 615-761-3600. Or log on to theomnihotel.com. And with every booking, you'll have free valet parking and rooftop pool access to enjoy the Music City skyline. And through Labor Day, enjoy the 4th floor spa terrace for only $20. Mocara Spa at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers Stay Hot on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. I like putting parlay bets together, hammering the overs, and anytime player touchdown bets always have me on the edge of my seat. So if you're ready to do the same, visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Kentucky. First online real money wager, only $5 pregame money line wager required. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Brian Dennis Roofing and Construction is asking listeners to please donate a toy to Toys for Tots this holiday season. You can make a difference in the life of a child. This message is brought to you by Brian Dennis Roofing and Construction, serving up to 45 miles from Nashville with quality and pride since 1994. Specializing in residential and light commercial, storm damage repairs, roofing, gutters, insurance claims, and much more. Call 615-484-1425. 615-484-1425. That's Brian Dennis Roofing and Construction. They're professionals who care.
It's the NFL on Sports USA, and we're in the Emerald City as the Pittsburgh Steelers come into Seattle to take on the Seahawks. The Hawks know how to fly thanks to Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf.
Geno Smith throwing a slant by the goal line. Is it caught? Yes. Touchdown, DK Metcalf.
The Steelers always get the stop thanks to the electric defense of TJ Watt. It's the Steelers at the Seahawks this Sunday on Sports USA.
Coverage begins at 3 p.m. live on WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Welcome back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Apparently, according to Damon Keene, our fine producer, there seemed to be a stigma around Pac-Man Jones, according to him.
Did something happen?
Something happened. I don't know. I don't know what he's talking. He won't tell us. He won't divulge. That apparently,
was Pac-Man involved in something?
Apparently, he was, I don't know, involved in something.
Well, I met his father, so his father was pretty radical, too, by the way. His dad.
Pretty radical.
His dad came to a concert with chains on, and it was a gospel event we had. His dad was there. I mean, like, really?
Did you ever DJ a Pac-Man event?
No.
No?
I wasn't in that.
DJ Damon wasn't there?
No. That would have been X-rated, probably. I don't think I was allowed to go to those kind of parties. Even at 40 years old.
I forgot the concert at Bridgestone. And I don't know if this ever got, I think maybe it did get public. Him and his crew got kicked out of a suite. Do you remember that?
I do. That was leaked out there.
Did it get out?
It did get out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember what was the show again. I don't
remember the show.
I think it was.
But they were allegedly using illegal drugs in the suite.
And apparently you could smell it. I don't know. That's just
allegedly
that you could smell stuff.
That was the allegation at the time.
That's just what was being.
That is what people were saying at the time.
No idea if that.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't even know.
We should probably talk about the 6-pack of picks now.
6-pack of picks.
Before we
let's do it. We should have a nifty open, but we don't.
It's okay.
All right, let's do this. Let's review if we must. Last week I was 3-3. You were 4-2.
No.
I missed on the Bengals. You hit on the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
We both had the Browns winners. Both had the Seahawks winners.
Yeah.
I had the Bucks. You had the Jags. So I won that. You lost. You had the Dolphins. I had the Cowboys. Winner for you.
Yeah.
And we both had the 49ers. Loser. So I am 39-51 on the year.
Ugh.
You're 51-39.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I don't really know what to say.
Well, I'd say that you've been a lot better than me. That's what you can say. A lot better.
I'm really shocked.
Glad I wasn't betting on my picks.
Yeah.
You should have been betting on your
I should have been betting on mine.
Yeah.
I think me and the wife have been talking about that recently.
Yeah, you'd have a newer car out there.
Yeah.
Be really nice.
May need to do something about that.
Maybe like a Cadillac or something.
No, I wouldn't go that route. But, yeah.
What would be
I would
your
do something
dream?
different.
What's your dream vehicle? If you could, like, Justin, go pick anything you want.
It used to be the big body Lexus, the Lexus LS, but now I'm in SUVs now. So now there's this Audi all electric big body thing that's really nice.
Okay.
And the brand new MDX from Acura is really nice. So I need to test drive a few more, to be honest with you. I'm not sure what the dream car is because I haven't sat in enough of them yet.
If you would have done your games, you had one of those cars.
Okay.
So here we go. New week. Lions and the Cowboys, by the way. This is the game tomorrow night. So there is an NFL game tomorrow night. It's
Lions
a good one.
at Cowboys?
At the Cowboys. Dallas favored by 5.5.
Give me the Cowboys.
I, too, am taking the Cowboys. I think the celebration by the Lions, they're in. First time, 30 years.
Yep.
Been praised all week.
Yep.
Due for a letdown. Dallas, let's be honest. When have they done all their winning? At home.
Yep.
So I think this one's pretty easy for me. I'm going Cowboys.
Yep.
Dolphins at the Ravens. Ravens favored by 3.5.
Oh,
This one's
Dolphins
hard.
at the Ravens.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, boy. Give me the Dolphins.
Okay.
Boy.
I struggled with this
Give me the Dolphins.
I really did because I'm like, Baltimore went across the country, Monday Night Football, coming all the way back, short week. But I went with the Ravens. I struggled, though.
Yeah.
This one was hard.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
It is a hard one. Titans at the Texans. Texans by 4.5.
Give me the Texans. Give me the Texans.
I, too, took the Texans.
Yeah.
3 college games.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go down to Orlando. Iowa and Tennessee. Vols by 6.5.
Yeah, the Vols.
Me too.
Yeah, the Vols. Boy,
I mean, there's just no way.
If they don't win by more than 6.5,
Yeah, I'm not taking Iowa.
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I'm not taking Iowa. Alabama and Michigan. Wolverines by 1.5.
Oh, Alabama. I had to convince myself the other day with the numbers that we ran until Michigan's got to show me against one of these SEC teams that they can do something beyond what we've read. The history would tell us that they can't.
Yeah.
So
haven't won a bowl game since Harbaugh's been their coach.
They can't bust 20 points.
Yeah, and can't
against
score.
an SEC team.
Yeah.
So let's find out.
So I had Bama as well. And finally, Texas and Washington. Huskies by 3.5.
Texas.
Me too. I got Texas as well. Well, that's the first time in a while. And that's probably a good thing for me.
Have we agreed all the way down?
No. The only difference is we had one difference. The Ravens, Dolphins.
Ravens,
game.
Dolphins.
That's it.
All right.
So, all right. That's probably a good week for me. But your record's been good. Why didn't I do that this earlier?
I think maybe
just follow your picks.
I'm starting to think now I'm afraid. Now I feel like I'm heading towards 1-5 here.
All right, we'll take our final break of 2023, come back and call it a year. Do that next.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Tennessee needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Grainger presents the ones who get it done. As the college football season progresses, the excitement continues to grow with packed stadiums and cheering crowds. Each team still dreams of winning the college football national championship, but come January 1st, only 4 teams will remain in contention. The question is, will Georgia be one of the 4, and can they pull off another championship for a three-peat? Only time will tell. The Ones Who Get It Done has been sponsored by Grainger. Call, click, Grainger.com, or just stop on by. Say, for the ones who get it done, Grainger is offering high-quality supplies and solutions for every single industry, as well as access to product specialists who have the knowledge and the experience to answer your toughest questions. Plus, their commitment to being your safety partner can help you keep your facility safe and your people even safer. So, call, click, Grainger.com, or just stop on by. Grainger.com.
With 13 locations nationally, including Smyrna, Star Leasing Company is a semi-trailer one-stop shop and the perfect place to build a career as a semi-trailer mechanic. Seeking candidates with all levels of experience, Star Leasing Company has a semi-trailer technician trainee program with sign-on and quarterly bonuses and other opportunities such as $1,000 for having a yearly physical. Package also includes 401k with company match, health, dental, and vision insurance, competitive pay with weekly paychecks, and paid holidays and time off. Star Leasing Company, not your typical semi-trailer leasing company. It's starleasing.com to learn more.
It's the NHL Winter Classic on Sports USA, and we ring in the new year in Seattle as the Kraken host the Vegas Golden Knights at the outdoor home of the Mariners. It'll be an action-packed matchup of the NHL's newest franchises. The Knights know how to cash in their shots with Eichel and Stone. The Kraken will defend with Dunn, Larson, and Grubauer between the pipes. It's the Cup champion Golden Knights and the Kraken outside in Seattle, New Year's Day. On your home for the NHL playoffs and the Stanley Cup, Sports USA.
You're listening live from the Strike and Spare Studios, downtown Music City. It's the McFarland Show.
This is it. Final 4 minutes. And then we'll see you next year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of ready for next year. 2023's been okay. It's had some good spots, and then stuff, it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking forward to a new year. So I wouldn't say 2023 was a banner year for me.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for a fresh start, a fresh calendar.
Yeah, I am.
What about
too.
you?
I am 100% looking forward to a brand new year.
Yeah.
The brand new number, please, is what I'm looking forward to with 2024. 2023 was good and bad in a lot of different ways, but I am really looking forward to the new year and looking forward to continuing to do this. And as we end the show, I just want to continue, because I haven't said it in a while, but I still mean it every day. Thank you to My good friend over here, sitting a few feet from me, Darren McFarland, for waking me up from a nap one day and calling me and asking me if I was interested in talking sports for a couple of hours a day.
Is that right? I don't think you've ever told me that you were taking a nap.
Yeah, I've never shared that with you, right? Yeah, right. No, and I'm forever grateful because he could have picked a lot of different people to come in here and sit in this seat and talk with him and talk with news and sports makers from across the mid-state and across the country. And he chose me for whatever the reason.
First one on the list.
And for whatever the reason that you chose me, I'm grateful for it. And I'm appreciative to, of course, the legendary Damon King, who, again, most people don't know, and it's true. The first time I was ever on a radio station anywhere on the planet was Damon King, who put me on radio back in 1999 when the Tennessee Titans were making their playoff run, and he needed somebody to talk football because his station at the time didn't have anyone to talk football at all. So someone hooked us up, and Damon King put me on the radio for the first time ever in that 99 playoff run. So I'm appreciative to Damon forever for that. Thank you, good sir.
OG.
All right.
What's up, OG?
Thank you. I feel so honored. I mean, I forget sometimes.
You don't remember that, but he did.
Sometimes I
true.
forget the people I run into. I mean, really, seriously, because it's been so many years, and I've seen you grow so much. So I got to give you kudos for that.
But then he shrunk. He grew and then he shrunk.
Yeah,
well, I grew up and then I grew out.
Say that.
Now I've shrunk back in. The music should be playing.
He grew out.
There we are. Thank you, sir.
He was trying to cut that off. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Darren,
King.
thank you for letting me be a part of yours.
We're glad you're a part of it, man. We, in all seriousness, we have fun.
Yeah.
We poke fun at each other,
yeah,
and we have fun. Thanks to Ted and Adam Johnson
Without
for making
question.
this happen.
And the incredibly hard, you guys have no idea, but the hard work those two men put into this station every day. Thank you to both of them for the blood, sweat, and tears.
No doubt. And to you who have been with us in 2023, and we can't wait for you to be with us in 2024. Be safe. Happy New Year. We'll talk to you in 2024. We'll see you then.
In a single moment, everything can change. When a player's sudden cardiac event brought a national football game to a halt, it's shone a spotlight on the importance of CPR readiness. Now, with youth sports in full swing, the American Heart Association is rallying parents and coaches to be ready in an emergency. To be ready, learn hands-only CPR. It's a skill anyone can learn in minutes. Visit heart.org/hands-only CPR and become a lifesaver today.